Okay, so now we're filming exercise 3, example 3, the last part of example 3. We were saying calculating the ZS of the first case, and over here, using the calculator, 11.8, it would be equal to this factor 1144 ZS, and implies ZS would be 0.0103 days. I'm gonna convert this into hours by multiplying it by 24. I will obtain 0.2476 hours. I'm gonna convert this into minutes by multiplying it by 60, and I will obtain approximately 15 minutes is the shelf life of biscuits, 2,550 grams of biscuits that are packaged with oriented polypropylene that is packaged with a thickness of 25 micrometer and that have an oxygen transmission rate 650 milliliter under the conditions of 23 degrees Celsius temperature. Now, the case of B, which is the two layers that are sandwiched together, we have the oxygen transmission rate that is written inside the given over here, 2 milliliters per meter square per day. We're gonna multiply them by the surface area again, 0.044, and we will obtain a value of 0.088. Substituting this with inside the equation, here permeance times surface area, 0.088, Q 11.8. It is the same because the same package and the same biscuits, the same material, the same condition of peroxide value, over the thickness times the test. The thickness over here, so we have over here 11.8, just substitute them, 0.088. The thickness would be the addition of both, 15 plus 80 times 10 to the power minus 3 times theta s. 11.8 would be equal to 0.88 over 95 times 10 to the power minus 3 theta s. This factor is equal to 0.9263 theta s. Therefore, the shelf life would be equal to 13 hours. So 13 hours when it is sandwiched inside nylon or oriented nylon and low density polyethylene. Taking into consideration, we have different factors that have led to this result. First of all, the thickness of both. Okay, we have a higher thickness, which is approximately 4 times higher than that of the oriented polypropylene. So this will lead to a deviation in the oxygen transmission rate as well as the properties of each plastic film. The oxygen transmission rate here is much higher than 2 milliliter. So consequently, we would have a difference in the shelf life between 13 hours and just a few 15 minutes when it is stored at this respective conditions inside the plastic oriented polypropylene. What can we do in order to enhance it? What we can do is that we can decrease, of course, the shelf life, and therefore we will decrease the transmittance conditions. What we can do is that we have to stick us as manufacturers into the better properties of the plastic containers. And this is taking into consideration, we assume that the driving force is 1. If we take into consideration even the atmospheric pressure, you can try it, okay? That we said also before, no, احنا عندنا 20% concentration of oxygen. And this, you will transform it into millimeter Hg, which is the SI unit. You will find much even lower values. Okay? Now, actually, while calculating and while assuming inside an industry, they take such an assumptions into consideration, which is atmospheric pressure or the driving force 1. And sometimes even they neglect the thickness. Okay, the thickness consideration. So we said that let's assume that both plastic films have the same thickness and thickness will not affect. So if we neglect the thickness value, if we just, like for example, divide 11.8 by 0.088, this will increase the shelf life. But actually, in an actual form, this is not the case. Okay? That's why this would be verified by actual shelf life testing. Actual shelf life testing, I'm gonna take samples from the food inside the package after the respective shelf life that was set, okay, by the manufacturer, which is 15 minutes, let's say, if it handles, or if it handles 13 hours. And I'm gonna measure its quality, its crispiness, I'm gonna measure its nutritive quality, I'm gonna measure its fat oxidation properties. And if I find very high values that are not acceptable, then I have to reconsider my calculations, I have to re-enter all the values and take them into consideration, and I have to neglect any assumptions. Okay? Thank you, and we're gonna move forward to the last exercise and example, hopefully, which is example 4.